we decided together, because I think I said one time we was in Miami, I said something about it being my house that I paid for. My wife looked at me, she was like, you will never say that to me again when it's something that we share. And so my wife was like, that when we moved to LA, I got half on it. You will never say my house again.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Omomi, aka Petite Diva, and in this video we are discussing Gabrielle Union and her stance on 50-50. Now, a couple of years ago, Gabrielle Union went viral for saying that she and her husband Dwayne Wade practice 50-50. So she said she was paying 50% of the bills that they acquire in the house. I think she explained that when they were having an argument, Dwayne mentioned something about my house, and she said that will never happen again. So she has been putting about 50% of everything that they spend in their house. And also, Dwayne was on Shannon Sharp's show, and he also talked about the dynamics of their house, talking about the 50-50. Any which way, it seems like some things have changed, and Gabrielle Union is backtracking on what she initially said. Anyway, in this video, we'll check out what she initially said, what her husband Dwayne Wade said on Shannon Sharp's show. We'll also check out what people said, how people reacted to the statement that she made and the situation in their family. And then we'll look at what she is now saying and people's reaction to our new stance. Now, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are not yet subscribed and you like videos such as this, please consider subscribing by clicking on the red button that says subscribe, and don't forget to click on the bell notification icon by the side so that you're notified anytime I upload videos. Now let's get into this video.
I struggle with that still, just because I think I just have more responsibilities, you know, for my money. So I get nervous, like, oh God, that movie didn't open, you know, well, what does that mean? Am I going to have enough to hold everybody up? And everyone's like, it's coming, like, calm down. And I'm trying to find peace in the journey, not using my anxiety and scarcity mindset to be my engine, which is hard. It's weird to say I'm head of household, because in this household, we split everything 50-50. But in the other households that each of us have to support, it puts there's always this like gorilla on your back that it is like, you better work, you better work. You know, you gonna sleep in? You know, somebody might not eat.
50-50 in our household is, first of all, let's say I have 20 to 50 responsibilities. Right. And my wife have 20 to 50 responsibilities. And when I say that, that means she has a mother, she has her sisters, she has her dad, she has a lot of things that she's responsible for. Right. You know what she does? Right. She pays 100% of that. Right. You know what I do? I pay 100% of my life. When our life come together, my wife is a working actress, right, who spends time away from the family to go work, do her job. Build. Right. We decided together, because I think I said one time we was in Miami, I said something about it being my house that I paid for. My wife looked at me, she was like, you will never say that to me again when it's something that we share. And so my wife was like, that when we moved to LA, I got half on it. You will never say my house again. Wow. She said, you can say that in the arena. Yeah. And so in our life, our home, 50-50, we purchased it together. Right. Our daughter, anything that goes on with our daughter, 50-50, we share it together. Now, there's some things I pick up versus some things she pick up, but she does something, I do something. Right. Okay. If we take a yacht trip, we could do it 50-50, or I can do it myself. But my wife is a working woman. Right. She's a boss and an independent woman in her own life. Right. She's like, I'm gonna put, you know what, that little 200 that you was gonna spend on this, I'm gonna throw something else on there and we're gonna go on a bigger trip. We're gonna ball out. Like, this is my wife. Right. Right? Like, I don't know about y'all, but I like having a wife that's like, that's cool, you can do that. The house we live in, thank God, in Hidden Hills, nice house. Right. Whatever millions. We could have had a nice house on my 50% too. Right. It'd have been nice. Right. She was like, no, let me put something else on and let us live a little different. Oh, yeah, they got a little bigger. So we probably share 3 things in our life that we 50-50 on. Right. everything else. I'm 1,000%, and she's 1,000%.
Right.
Gabrielle Union sat down with Bloomberg to say that everything in her household is split 50-50. Take a listen.
It's weird to say I'm head of household because in this household, we split everything 50-50. But in the other households that each of us have to support, it puts this, there's always this like gorilla on your back that it is like, you better work, you better work. You know, you gonna sleep in? You know, somebody might not eat.
So to be clear, Gabrielle Union is worth about $50 million. It doesn't mean that she doesn't have a ton of people that she needs to take care of. But what is really compelling about this interview and why it went so viral is because her husband, Dwayne Wade, is worth $175 million.
Almost more than
It's bizarre to hear her say that she feels this gorilla on her back because she has to worry about other people that she has to support when her husband is quite literally worth $175 million.
So there's a lot of factors, you know, to why she views money the way that she does. I think the key factor here that, again, people are missing from this whole thing is that, at least from what I've gathered, I don't believe Dwayne Wade is forcing Gabrielle Union to split the bills 50-50.
I think that's what I
think
said.
that's something that he requires of her. I don't think that's something that he puts on her. And again, we don't know these people. I could be wrong. Everybody on the internet could be wrong. And a lot of the times they are wrong because we don't know these people. But just from what we've seen, you know, from this interview clip that had went viral and just everything, I get a sense that the decision to split the bills 50-50, it might have been a joint decision, but I definitely don't think it was Dwayne Wade saying, hey, you must pay 50%.
More relationships, celebrity relationships, Gabrielle Union and
Steve Wood. Do you know what? Our good sis Gabrielle.
Give me a minute, because one thing about me is I'm finna cake for Gabrielle.
Yeah, you do love you do love you some Gabrielle.
One thing about me is I will find a way to be on her side. So you guys talk and I'm gonna think of ways to be on her side.
What happened? Because so basically she gave an interview recently and she was talking about her life in general. She was talking about her marriage and she let it be known that her and Dwayne Wade go 50-50 on everything. They split all the bills. And she did kind of mention that, you know, it was very much related to trauma and like growing up poor and being fearful of running out of money and stuff like that. I mean, for me, that would make me want to save my coin, not split, but whatever.
Who's got more money out of them?
He is worth, according to Celebrity Net Worth, which is never true, but let's just, for a rough estimate, $175 million.
Yeah.
He's allegedly worth that. Or in that ballpark or whatever. She, according to Celebrity Net Worth, is worth 40 million, so she's not exactly broke. Let's keep it. Let's keep it a buck. So there's definitely like, you know, there's levels. There's levels to this thing, and it's obviously rich people problems and all the rest of it. But the reason why like people I've seen, honestly, you know how TikTok works. You watch one thing and then your whole algorithm is that. Yeah, so TikTok is... So I watched one video and then I saw so many think pieces after people giving their 2 pence. And I'm not mad at people giving their 2 pence because ultimately she did kind of put it in the public domain. And I'm always like, if you say things publicly, people are going to talk about it. So yeah, they split the bills. You know, she wouldn't have it any other way. This is what they do. And then today I saw that she posted a picture and she was like, captioned it like 50-50. That's what we do around here or something like that. So obviously making fun of herself. I don't have a problem with it. Like, you know, I've got to stand 10 toes down because I've been saying it for ages. Like, at the end of the day, everyone has, like, some people are really about it. That's what I've realized. Like, some people say things because it's performance, and then when they're in the situation, they don't actually really do it. But some people, when they say they genuinely wouldn't mind going 50-50, whether it's with a broke man, whether it's with a rich man, they mean that shit. And I think she means what she says. So if she feels like she doesn't want to have a chokehold over her, or whatever her reasoning is for wanting to like split the bills, that's on her. Like, I don't have an issue with it, but like, he is significantly richer.
But that's the thing.
So
That's the thing.
But the thing is, I don't think, and the thing is that the people them are going for him and they're dragging him. And what will always happen with these situations is people start dragging up the past. Like, oh, he had a great baby on you. You know, you've put up with his crazy ex. You've done this, you've done that. But I don't actually believe, I'm going to cape for a man, I don't believe it's necessarily him. I think that if someone is adamant that they want to do something, how much more can you hold them to it? Do you know what I mean? Like, if she's gone to him and I would assume that this is how it's gone down here. If she's been like, no, I'm adamant, I want to contribute to this household. So, brother, I'm not going to hold you. If you want to fucking pay, if you want to pay, innit? Do you know what I mean? Like, I can say, do you know what? I'm the breadwinner. I've got more, I've got this, you don't need to contribute, blah, blah, blah. But if the person is adamant, I'm not going to stop them. So in my mind, that's the dynamic. I feel like she's been adamant that this is how she wants things to run and it works for them. So I'm not mad at it. But on a normal, any given Sunday, I can't lie.
It's giving hyper independence though. Like she's at this point where she's like,
I've got my cake.
And that's like a trauma response.
It
Yeah,
absolutely is
100%.
And I need him to be 90. There's days I don't have. And I need him to be 100. It's a trauma response. And 50-50 is I'm not going to be vulnerable enough to trust you with 100% of anything, not my heart, not my cash. And when I started to really address that, and I was like, do you want to pay whole mortgage? I thought I was about to die. I had such anxiety. Like I was crying, I was shaking. And he was like, you insisted on that. He's like, I thought it made you feel better. I'm like, it did. And right now I want to take it back. Now it sounds crazy to be like, you, Mr. NBA superstar who made a bazillion more amount of money than I do, can pay the mortgage, because I hate the feeling of releasing that to someone. And you release that to someone, chaos can happen. And it's brought us closer because he knows it's not about whether he can afford it. It's being vulnerable enough to be open enough to know that I'm okay. I'm okay as his wife. He's okay as my husband. I'm okay in this family. I'm okay in this home. I deserve it. And so I'm trying to expand my heart, expand all of the notions of what vulnerability can look like.
Remember when Gabrielle Union went viral for saying this?
In this household, we split everything 50-50. There's always this like gorilla on your back that is like, you gonna sleep in? You know, somebody might not eat. Come on, get away with it. And it's hard.
And at the time, I said this: if she likes it, I love it. And for most of us, it is strange that your husband is in a position to provide for you, but yet you're under all this stress. That man has too much money for you to be that stressed. I don't care what nobody says. Well, now she's saying this.
It's a trauma response. And 50-50 is I'm not going to be vulnerable enough to trust you with 100% of anything, not my heart, not my cash. And when I started to really address that, and I was like, do you want to pay whole mortgage? I thought I was about to die. I had such anxiety. Like I was crying, I was shaking. And he was like, you insisted on that. He's like, I thought it made you feel better. I'm like, it did. And right now I want to take it back. Now it sounds crazy to be like, you, Mr. NBA superstar who made a bazillion more amount of money than I do, can pay the mortgage, because I hate the feeling of releasing that to someone. And you release that to someone, chaos can happen. And it's brought us closer.
There were men in comment sections like mine saying things like we should mind our business. Those people are happy. We're just bitter. But I think we were able to see those subtle cries for help. This woman was working herself sick because she was too afraid to let go and to let that man who could well afford to pay those bills. She's right. It is a trauma response. And it's usually from women who've been let down by men in the past who promised that they would lead, but she still ended up holding the bag. Or by women who have always been the strong, independent, usually oldest daughter, who've always had to take care of herself and sometimes even other people. It's very difficult to go from that position to being like, I'm going to trust you with everything, when they've never felt safe enough to do so. There is a sense of vulnerability to it. But if you can't be vulnerable with your own husband, who can you be vulnerable with?
So I was listening to The Breakfast Club this morning, and Lauren LaRosa had brought up how Gabrielle Union said that 50-50 in a relationship is not a good thing, and how she basically is recanting her statement and saying that, it doesn't work out for her. And if you don't know, a couple of years ago, it was probably like 2 years ago, Gabrielle Union has said she is 50-50 with her and her husband. Like, they split all the bills, boom, bang, bang. She's a boss-ass bitch. Like, she's like, I'm going to pay half, you going to pay half. But recently, she has had a epiphany and like, you could pay this mortgage because I'm struggling. Like, you work more than me, you have more than me. Like, there's no reason I should be paying 50-50, because sometimes I need you to be 90% when I'm 10, and sometimes I just need a little bit more from you. And she was saying, Gabrielle Union was saying how she went to her husband and she was like, can you pay the mortgage? And, it was kind of hurting her pride. And of course, Charlamagne and Envy and Just With The Mess all had something to say. And Just With The Mess was like, she's a little bit upset that her husband didn't notice that she was struggling and that he didn't take the initiative or take charge and be like, nah, you ain't even got to worry about the mortgage. Like, why are you even doing this? And Charlamagne the God was like, saying basically like everybody wants to not be able to pay bills. Like, just with them, I shouldn't be so upset at that. And the only thing that I had a comment on was that sometimes women can be so strong, because y'all remember me last year, I was crying talking about I had 3 jobs and working on some shit. Like, that was also my pride, you know. I wanted to work those 3 jobs because I don't want nobody feeling like they can control me. And that's a trauma response for me, you know, because I feel like when people have things for you or like help you out, they feel like they can do whatever they want to with you. And not getting personal, but you know, I've experienced something like that. So I made it a thing where everything is in my name. I own everything. I pay for my own stuff because I don't want it to ever be you throwing it in my face. And I feel like in her situation, Gabrielle Union, like, she's a strong, independent Black woman, and she's married to a high profile Black man. So I feel like automatically her pride was like, no, you're not about to come in here and everybody say that you take care of me, baby, because I could take care of myself. Because that is exactly the type of attitude I would have had. And I feel like from a man's perspective, when they deal with women like this, like, they're the men, so they also have pride. And it's like, you know, if you want to do it, why not? Because, yeah, everybody would like to be taken care of. If I don't have to put all of this into the relationship and you're willing to give me the 50, I'm going to take it.
That's true.
And I feel like that's not wrong, because if the woman is saying, like, yeah, I'm going to pay for everything, I feel like that's not wrong for the man to be like, all right, babe, you do that. Even if I could do it on my own. But when you're ready, because when she was ready, he was like, duh, I'm going to pay the mortgage. Like, you ain't got to pay the mortgage. That was a you thing. You feel me? So even though I understood what Jess was saying, like, about how the man should have taken charge, sometimes I feel like men need that type of direction. And at the end of the day, when they love you, like, whatever makes you happy, babe. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, long story short, y'all, when it just comes to pride, I feel like that's where the relationships kind of get wonky, because, you know, people always be like, oh, it's not about the money. I just want somebody. It is about the money. Money is a big ass stressor. And I hate that everybody just blankets over that, like everybody's a millionaire. Financial stress is probably the biggest thing to break up relationships.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay? Because, yeah, you have infidelity, you have cheating. But when it comes to money, baby, if we ain't got no pot to piss in, okay? So, yeah.
Gabrielle, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
If you could go back and talk to your 30-something self, what would you tell her?
Not every note should be taken.
Yeah. Ooh, that's
even when it comes from me.
Yeah.
I'm not asking for the moon, the stars, and rainbow. Just make it make sense. I famously said 50-50 or bust, right? Now, knowing what I know, his take was very different than my take. I was like, interesting. Like, I'm getting murdered in the comments. But if I'm getting murdered, I'm going to sink or swim as me, and I'm free. I still obsess over a group of cheerleaders that came up to me 1,000 years ago in Vegas after I'd had a fight with my ex-husband, like on the casino floor. It was right after Bring It On. But I'm crying, and I said, not the right time, girls. And asking for help doesn't make you helpless.
Have you had to learn how to ask for help?
Yeah, because I know all the answers. Not my cash. And when I started to really address that, and I was like, do you want to pay whole mortgage? I thought I was about to die. I had such anxiety. Like, I was crying, I was shaking. And he was like, you insisted on that. He's like, I thought it made you feel better.
So this is clearly a big lie, but let me tell you why it's a great thing for women. Celebrities live and die out their reputations. You know, this woman's depending on you to basically support her. And she came back here and corrected what she said about going 50-50, which she's probably still doing, with her husband, because you all were making her pockets hurt. You were making her public perception hurt. And the tide has turned. No longer is it cool to be the self-sacrificial lamb, to be the cool girl. It's not cool to be a Delulu 50-50 girl. Now, this was 100% media spin, the same way, oh, we were on a break was a media spin. He cheated on her and had that baby. And that's how I know she's lying right now. He needed your permission to pay the mortgage. He didn't need your permission to cheat on you and have that child. He didn't need the permission to bring that child home. He's always done what he wanted to do, but you want me to believe that in the matter of finance, your word reigns supreme. And he wanted to support you fully, but you forced him into going 50-50. Yeah, right. This is a man who had a stay-at-home wife to begin with. He's supporting his family 100%. He was supporting the mistress 100%. Still is, by the way. But he offered and you fought him off? Okay. And remember, up to this point, she's been doubling down. She's been like, yeah, defending her decision to go 50-50 and then talking about all the extra stuff she does in the bedroom, munching on booty snacks and whatnot, trying to convince you this is an enviable estate, having a man at any cost. It is a massive victory to see a pick-me like this have to change her public perception. It was throughout her whole conversation. See, I meant 50-50 mentally and spiritually and emotionally. And see, this is really about emotional support and vulnerability and safe spaces. Expectations are shifting and cultural perceptions are catching up. Gabby. Salma Hayek got the same backlash when she said something similar. Oh, she and her husband are splitting the bills equally and she has to worry about what to do. He's a billionaire. Public perception was very negative towards this situation. So keep it up, ladies. Keep on bringing pressure to bear on the pick-me's, on the cool girls, on the male-centered girls, because though you will never change their hearts and minds, you can change what is expected of women, and you can help to save the next generation.
Okay, so we've seen what Gabrielle Union had to say about doing 50-50 with her husband and now just allowing him to pay for everything. We've seen what people thought about how when she was doing the 50-50, I'm saying she was paying 50% of the bills, and what they think now that she has decided to let her husband, who earns much more than she, pay everything. I would love to hear your own thoughts about the change in stance of Gabrielle Union. Do you think that something happened? Do you think that she maybe is not making as much money as she used to make before, and she has decided that there's no need for her to be stressing herself when her husband is making much more than she does? I would love to hear your own thoughts about her change in stance. So please leave your comment in the comment section. Now, personally, I've said it severally on this channel that I don't believe in 50-50. Yes, I believe in helping out with some of the bills, some of the things, but saying I'm going to pay 50% of everything, of the bills and everything, is not something that I believe in. It's not something that I'm a fan of, and it's not something that I hope to ever do. Now, looking at how Gabrielle Union was explaining why she was doing the 50-50, and also doing Wade's explanation of what happened, that she decided to be doing 50-50. Yeah, she recognized that it was a trauma response, and I agree with her, because it looked like she has always been doing everything on her own, and she has also been let down by some people, or maybe she has had experience where people would do things for her and then use that as leverage over her, and she did not want a case where he was going to do that to her. So she said she would rather work as much as she can to make sure that she's on par with him, even though from what they are saying, his own earnings, his own net worth is almost ×4 of our net worth. So she really did not need to do that, but because of, like she said, is a trauma response, she said that she was going to bring 50% of the bill. Now, personally, I have my own trauma response, in the sense that I've said it severally on this channel that I don't think I can ever say that I want to be a full-time stay-at-home wife or mom because of how I grew up. What I witnessed with my mom and my male parent, the amount of leverage that I had over her, and the insults that she collected because she was a stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home wife, and the embarrassment and so many atrocities that she endured, I can never ever endure that. And it's also part of the reason why I said I'm not going to do the 50-50. I don't think I ever will do 50-50, because even if I'm earning so much money, I want to keep majority of that money for myself, because I saw how my mom not really having the finances to do some things made her endure some rubbish that I will never endure. So that is something that has shaped the way that I think, the way that I would live my life. So I understand why she felt the need to split the bills and everything 50-50, and I understand why now she is deciding that she is not really going to be putting 50% of everything, and that she's allowing him to like put much more than she was allowing him before. Some people are saying maybe she is not earning that much, or maybe she's struggling or something. It might not be that she's struggling, it might just be that she doesn't want to do too much again just to meet up with him, because if the net worth amount is correct, is earning 4 times her earning. So why is she even struggling? Why would she even be putting up to 50%? If she says she's putting 20%, she's putting 25%, no problem. But 50%, in my own opinion, is a bit too much, because is what possible earning is times 4 of her. So I don't think that is a fair balance, in that she should be putting 50% of everything that they are spending in the household. So I think her letting go is even financially smart for her. She can keep most of her earnings and have a financial nest egg, and not stress too much about bringing 50% of the bills and everything. So I think it's a good thing for her. I noticed some people in the comment section of some videos were saying that she even looks better, she looks softer, she looks more relaxed now, since she has let go. And they are happy for her that she's looking more beautiful, she's looking more glowing, she's looking more relaxed. And I'm happy for her that she is not allowing that issue to be an extra stressor for herself. Anyway, that's my thoughts about this change in stance by Gabrielle Union concerning 50-50. I don't know what you guys think about it. Do you think that she is doing a good thing and a smart thing by allowing her husband, who earns much more than she does, to take a bulk of all the financial responsibility in their home? Or do you think it's not a smart thing for her to do? I would love to hear what you think about it. So please leave your comment in the comment section so that we can get this discussion popping. Now, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are not yet subscribed and you like videos such as this, please consider subscribing by clicking on the red button that says subscribe, and don't forget to click on the bell notification icon by the side so that you're notified anytime I upload videos. Now, with all that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.